Warning, this podcast, website, and associated social media accounts are intended for audiences of legal drinking age. We do not advocate overconsumption or the abuse of alcohol. Never drink and drive, drink responsibly. And please remember to always take what we say with a grain of salt. After all, we are just some dudes with some brews.
We started out by crawling out from under the thumb of the man. The lovers of God with dad bods, just trying to feed our fam. Go sit right there and grab a beer, you know just what to do. Throw it back, get hammered, and listen to dudes and brews. So we're here at the Tupps Brewery at the historic Cotton Mill in McKinney, Texas. We've got Nicole Wright on with us. She's the brewer. She's your head of brewery marketing.
I do all of our taproom events and all of our social media and our webpage, beer to go, all that stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
I have like a hodgepodge of
Everything.
jobs. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what? Like, can you go into specifics? So you said you do the social media and whatnot as well.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I signed on as our event planner, and it just evolved. So, yeah, I take care of all of our events here at the brewery. Sometimes our outside events, and then our Facebook and Instagram, and our keeping up our website and all that stuff. So,
What's the event that y'all have today? Is it Trades Day?
no, it's the boho market. They travel around Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and set up different spots. So, yeah. They've been out here for about 3 or 4 years. Like, they've been one of our partners and having events out here. So they do great stuff for us. So, yeah.
Awesome. So all the people here are like, they're already in a unit, like a flea market to go.
Kind of. They rotate out their vendors. So, like, they just have a list of vendors, and they'll post dates, and people can apply for those spots. And they basically are vendor, like, coordinators.
Yeah.
And so they bounce around with their brand and help promote. Like, you have to be a shop small, you can't be a chain, all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I've never heard of it. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
I have not. No, but I like the idea of continuing to support locally.
Yeah.
So yeah, bring it in, bring more people in here. I think the idea is great.
Yeah.
The idea is great. So, what are some of the events that you've coordinated that are kind of like your babies that you're like the most proud of?
Well, what's unfortunate was when the pandemic happened, we didn't really have events. So my first event to do by myself was Festival of Darkness last year. Then all through the pandemic, I built our Beer to Go website, helped to run we had some drive-in concerts in the field, and then most recently Festival of Darkness for this year. And then this year I'll take care of our crawfish boil, our anniversary party, all that stuff. So
Nice.
yeah.
So you guys own that field right next
No,
door?
we don't own any of this property.
Okay.
The whole property is owned by the Cotton Mill, which is the building that's right next door over here. And when we use the field, we just rent that from them for a one-day
Nice.
fee. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. I've never been out here before, and I was surprised it was kind of off the beaten path.
Yes.
And then you come around the corner, and all of a sudden there's like 1,000 cars
Yeah,
circling
it's
that
not
field.
usually like, well, it is like that on Saturdays, and sometimes on Friday nights, but like Wednesdays and Thursdays are pretty calm. We are hidden back here, so it does take a lot of networking and sharing and promoting yourself and kind of being part of the community. But Tupps has done a great job at that since day one. So people that know Tupps and know us in the community know where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. How, based on all the other breweries in McKinney, how is Tupps like one of the original breweries?
There's only 2 breweries in McKinney. There's Franconia and there's Tupps. And Franconia opened, I think, 8 or 9 years ago. So they've been open longer than we have. But as far as barrelage for the year, we do brew more than they do. But they are, I don't know, they have different business model. They like to stick to more traditional beers. I believe it also has different owner as of recently, so they're kind of changing their business model, but it's just different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Different vibe, different mission, different all around.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure, yeah. So I know that you just did the Festival of Darkness, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you have coming up that's Do you have anything that's on the schedule? Is there like a calendar that you can look
our
at?
crawfish boil is in 2 weeks, and then our 6th anniversary is on May 8th. We'll rent the field that day, and we're planning to have a big bands and bounce houses and all kinds of crazy crap for that.
So are y'all going to do like exclusive brews for that?
We'll have
that
one
6 year?
anniversary beer, and then we'll probably tap some stuff that isn't usually on, but we'll brew one specific beer for our birthday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And like, so getting back to the beers, like, do you have a favorite beer that you guys brew?
I usually drink whatever hazy is. So right now, Alpha Drop, but that'll be year round now. But when we were doing the DDH series, I was always drinking hazy, whatever hazy was on tap.
Okay, and
Yeah.
like the Alpha Drop's new, isn't it?
Yep, that's going to be our new year round. So the DDH series will only come out every other month, and it's going to be a small batch now. And the DDH Alpha Drop will be year round.
Okay,
So.
yeah, because I know the DDH was the DDH series, like it was big.
Yeah,
And y'all were doing it for a while.
Popular.
Yeah.
The thing that was kind of crazy with the DDH series, though, is because we distribute so far at this point. Like we're everywhere in Texas except for Houston, and then we're in Oklahoma. And taking on different distributors, like in Austin and Oklahoma, they all have different pickup schedules, right?
Oh,
So for Austin and San Antonio, for example, they're not going to be here every week like Benny Keith is. So it's hard to
Right.
like release a beer that's DDH, just example, DDH 26, and maybe they're not going to pick it up for 2 weeks, but we are coming out with a new DDH every 4. So it's like by the time that one gets to Austin, we're about to release a new one, and it just is becoming kind of crazy. So keeping the DDH series small this year, it'll go to more like growler and bottle shops, and then Alpha Drop will head to San Antonio, Austin, Oklahoma, like fill the market with a DDH hazy that'll be year round. So there's no gaps in numbers, and I find 27 here and 26 over here and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, 'cause
just
I feel
kind of
like-
shoring it up a little bit.
I feel like if I went to the store and I saw like a 26 and a 27, I'd be like, well, surely the 27 was the better one.
Right,
It's the
and
more
that's
recent.
what sucks too, is because like when you think about a hazy, they're good for at least 3 months, right? Some of them will last longer, some shorter, but the typical span that we want to leave them on the shelf is no more than 90 days. So like you said, it's hard when you go to the store and someone would have 25, 26, and 27. Well, which one are you going to pick up?
Right.
27. And so it just like abandons and leaves those numbers sitting there, and it just
Yeah.
became a nightmare. So if we have one really delicious hazy that we focus on, then it'll help us out in the mass market.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because we have a little beer fridge in our Dudes and Brews, and I've been kind of tapping into it a little bit on my own personal time. And
Yeah.
I try to tell him, I'm like, dude, these beers have been in here for a while. I think, and he's like, no, they
Check
need
the
to
date on the
sit. They
bottom.
need to collect.
No.
I'm like, no.
For
they
a
need to
hazy,
be-
you don't want to keep them that long. I mean, I do. I'm not gonna lie. I probably have 6-month-old hazies in my refrigerator. And
Yeah.
It's probably ones that I really loved, and I'm just like holding on to the
Right.
last one. But there's no point in it. They're gonna
Yeah.
taste better within that first 90 days for sure.
Yeah.
So you said that the DDH series is now going to be like to the smaller, more like growler fill shops.
Yeah.
So does that mean that we're not going to get them in Sherman? I mean, how's your market out in Grayson County?
Grayson County, I honestly could not tell you about any craft beer shops out there. There may be one, and that's really bad of me to say. I don't go out to Sherman a lot. I know our friends out in 903 are killing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like bottle and growler shops around DFW, I think the northern ones are more like Denton that I'm aware
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
There's not a growler place in Sherman.
No,
and
there's not.
He's been saying for a while that there's no good craft beer, even like store to go get craft beer from.
I would believe it. I
There's
mean,
not.
Yeah.
it's different in different markets, obviously. Like being in North Texas, we have some great shops here in McKinney, but like I don't know where any would be
Right,
north
like-
of here. Yeah.
The closest thing I think would be the green growler that they opened up in Denison a couple
I
years
was
Right.
going to say Denison, Denton, they've
Yeah.
got some good stuff over there, but as far as like straight north to you guys, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Have
mean,
you
it
heard
is
of the
what it
Green
is.
Growler?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you guys actually distribute there, like kegs there, anything?
I don't think they have anything on right now, but they
Okay.
contacted us last week. That's when I heard of them. They
Good.
contacted us to try to get some stuff on tap over there.
Okay,
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of taking off themselves. They're like, how old are they? Like a year?
A couple of years, 2 or 3
Yeah.
Yeah,
years.
not that old at
Yeah.
all. So it's like we've been there like one time, but other than that, it's kind of like localized beer.
Yeah.
It's
You know.
903, and
Yeah.
as much as they're great, we need
Oh,
to.
I love 903.
We need to venture out because Tupps is just as good.
Yeah,
So-
they are.
So you mentioned the Alpha Drop. Now, from what I understand, the Alpha Drop has a specific kind of hop in it. It's a cryo frozen.
It's got
Maybe.
Cryo Mosaic and Cryo Citra, I believe, but also Galaxy and Nelson Sauvin. So cryo hops are just hops that have been frozen, basically, at a really low temperature to preserve all that goodness that's in there. So they not freeze dry them. I think freeze dry. Whatever cryo.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know.
Whatever.
When I research online, it's like basically like my understanding is it's freeze dried hops that, anytime you freeze a food or a fruit or whatever, it's going to consume or like preserve that flavor and everything. So the Evil Dankster series the first one had hop oil, which is just basically like you think of essential oils, like a concentrated hop oil.
Okay.
Then we did cryo hops, and now the latest one out is hop hash. And hop hash is just like when they pelletize hops, it's all the stuff that comes off the belt from that, and it just turns into this like sticky, super sticky like balls of stuff. And so even with the hop hash, we had to like dilute it with a little bit of alcohol because it is so sticky. So it's been fun for the guys experimenting with the different kinds of hops for Evil Dankster.
Nice.
No, so I'm assuming that because they use that, what you're calling hop hash, it's more a concentrated hop flavor.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay, and is it the same with the cryo hops? Does it give them more concentrated flavor?
So all of those, instead of dry hopping at the end of the brew, they use either the cryo hops or the hop hash or whatever it is to flavor and give the beer the aroma that it has, but it is very concentrated, so they don't have to use as much.
Right, they don't have to use as much, so it goes further.
Yeah,
it's a nice way to save some money, is what it seems like, which is great.
That's a funny thing, though. I don't know if it really saves you money.
Right.
Oh, really?
Like the process.
Maybe not.
I was gonna say also because of the process, and I think they like make it in such more limited quantity. It may not be cheaper. I don't know. That's a head brewer question. I don't do the dollar signs.
It seems like this is all like new stuff in craft brewing. Like I've never heard of the hashing or the oils.
It's all new, like hop technology that people are starting to experiment with, and I really don't know. I mean, you'll see breweries more often using cryo hops, but I don't know of any other breweries currently doing like hop oils or hop hash. I think those types of things are still more homebrew level right now, but who knows?
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
You're like, so it's got to be brand new.
Yeah.
Because I would think that the fresher that you can get hops, the better.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like the other ways are just as good. No, I don't know.
Well, I think it's just more like the preservation process of it. Like the cryo and all of that stuff is gonna, like we're talking about concentration. I think it just holds on to the flavors and the aromas better than when you're letting it dry and then crushing it and pelletizing it. It's just a different process.
Right.
It's like Mel Gibson in Forever Young. Have you guys ever seen that one? No. You never seen that?
I don't think so.
It's a classic. It's a classic. But he was preserved.
Should.
He was preserved. But then, I mean, he did start aging really fast at the end. So, spoiler alert.
This dude right here.
But
now we don't need to see it.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
So, I know that you guys have gotten into the craze. You've gotten into the seltzer craze with your Blur series.
Yep.
Tell me how that came about.
Well, if you talk to Chris, our head brewer, he's for lack of a better term, a seltzer connoisseur. He loves seltzers. He's tried probably every seltzer on this whole planet. And for them, it's like they're sweating their asses off out here in the summer. So we would come out here in the summer and the guys are drinking, the ones that are already out, Truly and White Claw and whatever. And then if you look.
No, they were?
Well, yeah. I mean, we didn't have a seltzer. So then it's just one of those things that, like, if you look at seltzer sales, they're really taking over the craft beer industry. So as a brewer, if you aren't looking into making a seltzer, I certainly understand, like, wanting to stay true to being in the beer industry. But I also, from our standpoint, it's like if you're not at least attempting it and trying it, you're really missing out on a huge population.
Yeah.
And I mean, for us, it was also about people coming here that don't like craft beer, and what do you offer them?
Yeah.
We don't want to offer things that aren't made here. So it was just a good answer for us.
Yeah. One thing I've always loved about breweries is the family vibe.
Yeah.
Where you come out on like a Saturday, it's outside, people bring their dogs, they bring their kids. Sure. And you're right. It's like maybe only one person in the family is into craft beer.
Yep.
So
Yeah, for us it was important because we do have a lot of families out here. We have a lot of people that don't like craft beer, or a lot of people that just don't like beer in general. And it was an easy thing to offer But it was a fun process going through. The one thing that I'll say that we did, that I'm confident that we did right, is that we worked with a company to create our own flavors. So we didn't just go to a company and ask for extracts or flavorings. We worked specifically with a company that sent us samples and tailored the flavors for Tupps. So no other brewery could go out and buy the same flavorings that we have. Those are just for us. So
nice.
yeah, that was good.
I like that.
That's something that I'm proud to talk about.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because I think what's typical is just grabbing whatever is available. So.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So speaking of having people come in that don't really drink a whole lot of craft beer, I know that some breweries will have a kitchen where they can have food. You guys don't have a kitchen. How do you guys get past that milestone?
We do have a food truck out back. So when we move next year, the plan is to have a full kitchen of our own and run a full restaurant, full brewery, and add in also wine and liquor that's distilled on the property as well.
Wow.
But for here, we've never had a kitchen here. We started out rotating food trucks on Fridays and Saturdays, and then when the pandemic hit, we partnered with Rye in downtown McKinney. And if you look out back, there's a trailer that they've built out. It's permanently installed here at the brewery, so they're here with us 5 days a week to serve our customers.
Oh, that's awesome. What's the food truck called again?
Barley by Rye. So,
Barley by Rye.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they serve burgers and tacos and all kinds of stuff, but they're kind of like us, and like you're not going to go get like bottled barbecue sauce on your burger. Like they make all their sauces and all their stuff to tailor. So they've got their own little flavor and everything going on back there.
Sounds like craft beer plus craft food.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's the best.
Craft seltzers.
I know.
You know what I mean? They're crafting up those fruits.
Celsius.
Yeah. So we always we call it a gateway beer, right? Like one of the reasons why we even do a podcast about beer is because we think people need to quit drinking domestic beers and move over to the craft beer world where there's a better land to go to, right? So what would you say would be a gateway beer that they would have here to get people into craft beer?
So this is bad to say, but if people come in here and they want like Coors Light or Bud Light, I always offer them our national standard because it is.
I told you, bro.
I tell him no.
But to me, like if someone's like, I want to try a craft beer, if they're coming in here and they say they're interested in trying craft beer, that's not what I'm going to offer them. But we do have a lot of people that come in and they're like, I drink Bud Light, I drink Coors Light, and so that's an easy offer. It's just funny because we actually call it in the office Bud Light with more flavor. I mean, it is like a light beer with more flavor.
Yeah.
So it's an easy one to offer to people, but if somebody comes in wanting to try craft beer, I'll often give them like a juice pack or whatever fruity something we have on, like Imperial Pacer Sour or something like that that's more easier on your palate than like an IPA.
Yeah, that was our debate. He was saying domestic, but a craft version of like a Pilsner or lager. And I was saying, no, I think you would probably want to go a different direction and give them something fruity or something that they're going to be like, ooh, what is this?
That's true. I really like, if I'm working the bar, I ask people, what do you typically drink? What do you like? Because we do have people that come and say they want Shiner, and we do have an amber on draft here at the brewery that we don't distribute. Well, it goes into our variety packs, but we don't distribute it in cans and on draft and stuff in the market. So it's easier for us to appease customers here in the tap room than it would be, say, if they were like, I want to go to the grocery store and buy your beer. What would you say?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to say national standard, juice pack, whatever we have out in the stores. But
okay, so I've got a question here then. So with the national standard, we looked it up online on the Untappd, and Untappd is calling it a golden ale.
Yeah.
I saw it on a keg over here, and it said it's a
golden
blonde ale.
So we had to change it to a blonde ale when we started distributing it to Oklahoma because they don't like the word golden ale. It's really interesting when you start going to other states. Of course, TABC has their own rules.
Right.
TTV has their set of rules, and so they didn't go for golden, whatever we used to call it,
really?
golden ale. Yeah, so we had to change it to a blonde ale. And we did adjust the recipes slightly also, so it was just a good time to adjust everything. National Standard has evolved from yellow, red, and blue labeling, and now it's red, white, and blue. So it kind of did a whole change when we got it into Oklahoma, because Oklahoma people do not like. They don't like a huge-ass Texas on their beer cans.
Yeah, they also used to not like alcohol in their beer either.
Yeah, this is true. That's,
but
good call.
they've come full circle. I grew up in Oklahoma, so I get to...
You can talk all the shit you want.
Yeah, I
it's
can.
Fine.
Everybody talks about me whenever I tell them I'm from Oklahoma, so...
Yeah.
But yeah.
So with that, it makes me think. So when you guys market a beer, do you decide what you want to call it based on?
Me personally?
Yeah, you.
No.
I mean, did you call it a golden ale because
part-
you wanted to, or because the brewers told you to call it a
No,
golden ale?
I'm sure when Chris brewed it, I mean, he knows what he's doing. He knows what kind of beer he's
Yeah,
brewing.
he knows what he's going for.
And what's appropriate. And I think that was just a decision they had made for the style of beer he was making. But like once you start submitting things to TTB, there can be beers that you already had existing that you're like, oh, I can't do that anymore. Like I think 903 even recently had one with their painkiller slushy.
Oh yeah,
they
couldn't
like
call it that. Yeah.
Either TABC or TTB. I think it was TTB actually was not okay with that, so they had to totally change the name of the beer.
Yeah.
And like for us, they don't want a golden ale. They're like they have a certain select list of. TTB is more strict in that they have like certain styles that they want you to use, and they have certain ingredients that they want you to use, and so you have to. It's like a more narrow path, I think, of turning in for a submission. So.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I thank God I don't have to deal with that a lot. That's more Katie, she's Chris's sister that does all of our labeling and TBC submissions and has to deal with all of that stuff. So she's awesome at knowing what's.
It's like you're an artist and then the label's telling you that you need to do something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're a record label.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Kind of.
So when it comes to marketing, do you have any say so in the actual artwork itself?
Like the labeling of the beers?
Yes.
Yeah. We all do as a team. We have a graphic artist that does all of our labeling for us, and we basically just send him what we want, and then he'll send us his first stab at it, and we'll all look at it as a team and give our 2 cents. Sometimes it's taken, sometimes not. I mean, y'all know how it is when it's a group of people. You
right.
listen to everybody's opinions, and some people's opinions will work and some won't, and then we don't ever like disagree on it, though. It's funny. And sometimes we get to a point with a label where at least me personally and Katie will laugh because we'll just like sit back. We're like, well, we're done. We'll just let the guys, because they have changed their minds way more times than we do. So yeah, it's fun. It's a fun process to go through for sure.
Yeah, I bet. That sounds
that's cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I was thinking whenever you said Texas, and it's like, screw Oklahoma, I'm throwing Texas on here anyway.
Yeah. Well,
like,
Texas is still on there. I think just with the color change, it's not as like in your face that it has a huge ass Texas on the can. So whatever.
Yeah. You guys need to make a custom beer just for Oklahoma and call it America's Toothbrush. And it has like some kind of seltzer bubblegum taste.
That's funny.
some mint flavor.
I think eventually, so right now in the facility that we're in, we have no room for extra beers. But once we move to the new facility, I think there are things in the works. Like Oklahoma will get, this one, we'll get this one, just like slight differences that make it a little easier to market. But that's down the road.
So speaking of the new facility, you said it's going to be open next year, so 2022 is what the plan is?
It sounds crazy because we haven't even broken ground, but the goal is February of next year.
Awesome. And so I like the vibe and atmosphere, but not just that, the look of Tupps, because it gives you that cotton mill feel.
Old
like
as
old.
Hell and rusty.
Yeah.
Beat up.
No,
we had to look it up.
No, it's a nice fine patina.
That's so
Is what
funny.
it-
Well,
Patina.
you can just be honest, because Keith, the owner, he likes to say that we're roachy, which I agree with too. It's just like his favorite word to describe us, but not with like
Sounds
literal
awful.
roaches, but just the fact that it's like, it's very lived in and very, I mean, it's sat here and it's aged how it's aged, you know, like it has become Tupps. When we moved in, this was an empty building. So when you look around and like see all the things that we've added, it's like we've made it our own. You know, it's not an empty warehouse anymore. It is Tupps, and it has all that character. And we don't want to lose that when we move. I don't know if you've driven by the new facility, but it is an old grain mill, so it's the same type of old ass. Okay. Dusty, dirty building, except for in that location, we will clean it up and insulate the building. We'll have heating and air. So from the outside, it'll look like Tupps, and from the inside, it'll feel like Tupps, but there won't be dirt and stuff everywhere like there is here.
No, I think it's nice.
I mean, it's I'm not dogging on our place, but like, let's be real. This is an open air warehouse, so there's dust and dirt. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But when we move, production will be separate. They'll have their own building.
Oh, that's cool.
Tap room will be separate. We'll be able to keep it a little more clean. We'll have the restaurant there, so we can't have grain and shit all over the floor. So it's just going to be a little bit different vibe, but still Tupps for sure.
Are you guys still going to have the ability to see, like, where it's brewed? I don't know if you guys do tours or anything.
We don't right now just because of the pandemic, but the goal when we move, obviously, we'll have this big, badass production facility, so we'll offer tours every weekend, probably.
Okay.
No, so I like so what he's mentioning is when you're in the tap room, you can see the tanks.
That too.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Because I've been to a lot of places where it's in a separate building and you can't see any of that stuff. And I'm just
that is one thing I'll really miss. But the cool thing will be that we're adding a bunch of windows and things where you can watch the canning line running from outside. You can see the tanks through the windows and be able to see it. We also don't if we're busy on the weekend, there will be a bar in the production area, so it'll be potentially somewhere where you can go hang out if we're busy.
Yeah.
You know, like the obviously the tap room will be primary, but on a Saturday like today, it would have been easy to have Boho Market inside the production facility and then have the tap room still open and kind of have two different vibes.
Right.
So that's something we're looking forward to, is being able to just have all the space, because right now we're busting at the seams.
So with that, are y'all going to keep this open, or is this going to close down?
We rent this facility from the cotton mill, so we'll close this down and completely move.
So not two locations.
Sad day. Sad day for those. I feel like if this was my baby and I started here, like how many tanks did they start out with here? Like,
I mean, from my point of view, I will miss this building just because I've been around Tupps since we opened. But I will not miss dealing with the things that we have to deal with not owning our building. I'll just say it that way.
That makes sense too.
Yeah, we were super tiny. When you look around here, when we first opened, all the tanks that we had were on this wall. So we've greatly expanded by adding all the tanks over here and the canning line. So that's all happened in the last little less than 6 years.
Wow. It's crazy.
I will like that kind of Krispy Kreme vibe where I can look through the window and see how it's made.
Somehow like one of those candy making factories.
We'll see how it all crumbles, but that's the goal, is to be able to see.
Mm-hmm. I like that idea. I think it's a great idea, because if you don't have the time to do a tour, at least you can see a little piece of the magic being made back there.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the canning line is probably a favorite thing for people to watch. It's one of those things that you just kind of go into a trance, watching the cans come down and fill and all that stuff. So. Yeah. Okay,
so with that, I've got to ask you this, because I've seen every video I've seen, cans do this same thing. They do this like somersault in the little line.
Yeah.
Why do they have to spin upside down?
Right.
Well, because it's going through, for us, it's going through a little thing that sprays like water and sanitizer in there.
Oh, okay.
To clean out anything that could go in there. So I think what it's doing is probably spraying and then turning it over to let all the water dump out of it, and then they spin back up top ways, and they go through the date coder, get filled, sealed, and then labeled. And then come out on the other end.
Nice.
That all makes perfect sense. I don't know what I was thinking.
I mean, you're not the only person that asked about it.
Well, we talked about it on an episode, and I thought it was, I don't know if you've ever seen, and this could be another miss, because I missed with the Forever Young. But the 90s Casper movie.
Yeah.
And then at the end, remember they find that secret room and she gets in that chair and then it's like spins her around and brushes her teeth and like shaves.
Oh my God.
And I was like, it's just like that. It's just all for show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Half of that stuff wasn't doing anything.
No, it is doing stuff.
So
it's actually doing stuff on the canning line though. Our poor canning line, it needs to retire. I know they're super excited to move and get a new canning line.
Oh, they're going to get a whole new canning line?
Yes, one that's much faster.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're having someone's canning here from 8 a.m. on Mondays for probably 8 to 6 every day, Monday through Friday.
Wow.
And even then sometimes overnight if we have stuff to get caught up with. Mm-hmm. So once we move and we get this faster canning line, we'll be able to pump out the beer a little faster.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how long it takes sometimes.
Well, I think it's just the volume of beer we're doing, and this canning line just moves really slow. So
doesn't match what
we never thought we would grow to this at this point. So it worked when we first got it, right?
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
all right.
Sure.
So I got a personal question for you. So, what is your favorite Tupps beer? And I know sometimes it's in the moment. Like my beer flavors change like year round.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Tupps beer right now? And then what would be your favorite beer outside of Tupps right now?
Oh, that's hard. Well, at Tupps right now, I guess Alpha Drop. I know I keep saying that, but it's just I like whatever staple hazy we have on it. And Chris did such a good job on that one, so that's probably my new favorite. Outside of here, I drink the most 903 slushies, but I want to give some props to our friends at Celestial and Turning Point because they make some really awesome hazies too. If I can get my hands on those, I don't get to go to other breweries a lot. I wish I did, but I always have good beer trading buddies that'll bring me Celestial and Turning Point stuff. So,
where's that brewery at?
Celestial's in Dallas, and Turning Point is over in Bedford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've had a Turning Point, but I've never had a Celestial.
I've heard of them. I've never had their stuff.
Yeah.
No, we don't get it.
They got some good stuff.
It's a problem with living that far north. We don't get to have that stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think either of them distribute quite yet.
Okay.
So you would have to go to the brewery. Turning Point might a little bit. Turning Point does, I think, through Full Clip. I think. Oh my God, scratch all that. I might be totally wrong.
Yeah, I know. Now you got me second guessing. Like, have I ever had a Turning Point?
But
I don't
it's
know.
harder to get their beers because they don't distribute a lot. So.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You got to find those beer trading buddies.
I do. I need to do
beer
that for
trading
sure.
buddies.
Yeah.
Is there like a network or something? Like, how do you get started on this?
I personally have a friend that lives in my neighborhood, but he teaches in Dallas, and he's probably here right now somewhere in this tap room. But he drives just all around to the breweries, and so he'll stop here. And even during, like, the snowstorm, he dropped off beer on my porch. So it's just good.
Nice.
Find a beer trading buddy that likes to hop around to breweries, and they'll bring you stuff. And all you got to do is just give them what's in your fridge.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I've seen it on, like, Facebook and some of those, like, Facebook groups because Martin House does exclusives that I can't ever get. And I'm not driving to Fort Worth.
If you jump on DFW Let's Talk Craft and just tell them where you live, you'll find somebody.
Oh, okay.
That'll meet you and trade some stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
For sure.
So Let's Talk Craft. I need to check that one out. But anyway, so you're the head of marketing, so I want you to do your thing, plug it. Where can they find you guys online?
Ooh. Okay. So you can find our beer in stores by going to our website and clicking on the beer finder.
There you go.
And all you got to do is put in your zip code, and it'll tell you where to find all of our SKUs. And then for our events, if you go to our website on the events tab, we'll tell you everything that's going on here. I try to keep our website updated because honestly, it's really overwhelming the amount of messages and things that we get sometimes. And I just really love when people do their research on our website. Right. Don't have to ask me the same question 20 times.
Yeah. No, I can imagine that.
But,
yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah, no, it's never ending, but whatever.
So awesome. It's just Tupps.com?
TuppsBrewery.com. So TuppsBrewery.com. And then across the top, you'll see events and beer finder and all the links to find all the information about Tupps.
And then it's Tupps Brewery on Facebook and Instagram as well?
Facebook is Tupps Brewery. Instagram is a little weird. Do not go to the Tupps Brewery account. That is a scammer. It's Tupps_brewery. And people forget that sometimes. We don't know how to get rid of that one. I've reported it like a million times. But anyway, whatever. The Tupps Brewery account on Instagram is not us.
Yeah.
It is Tupps_brewery.
Nice.
Everybody needs to make sure to check them out online. Make sure to come to the brewery, get their beers. If you see them, get them, drink them. Everyone that I've had has been great so far, but I'm ready to drink a few more. So you want to play a game?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
how many beers they have on tap? Like 20?
23.
23. Even though they had 23, you think that you'd be able to hit all of them spot on? Like if you had to like, guess all 5? Without even looking at the list of beers, you'd just be able to know and taste it?
Probably.
Do you just drink Tupps every day?
No, but I'm part of all the product development and
right.
everything, and I'm the one that markets all of them, so I know what they taste like and what they look like and all that stuff. So
yeah. I just feel like there's some of them you'd be like, well, it's an IPA, but I'm sure they got a few IPAs on tap, right?
Yeah, the ones that I probably wouldn't be able to distinguish are probably like our regular IPA and like the Evil Dankster, that kind of stuff. Yeah. DDHs, I can tell you Alpha Drop, but I'd probably get 27 and Oak Shake would be a little shady, but
yeah,
for the most part.
That's the way I feel about IPAs as well.
Yeah, unless you can like taste those in particular hops, they kind of.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not good at that part.
You're not a hop expert.
I try.
This guy tries to be. I always give him a hard time.
I try really hard.
No,
it's
too hard. There's too many different.
No, because you guys use some hops that I've never heard of.
Yeah,
I'm good with like the main like 5 or 6, but outside of that, not happening.
Well, when we did the DDH series, I had to like contract a bunch of hops ahead of time because otherwise you're going to end up with the same series, like repeating itself.
Yeah.
So they had to go out and find crazy stuff to combine for those. So.
Right.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention.
Please write down the names of the beers in the flight in the order presented. No ciders.
Oh yeah, we don't have a 5th one, so we'll only have 4 to try.
Only have 4. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
So go ahead and explain the game, Larry.
All right, are we live?
Yeah, dude, we're good.
All right, so we are playing.
Fly!
And that's whenever the metal music's supposed to come
on.
Fight or flight. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to each go round at a time. We drink the beer. We try to guess which one of these amazing 20-something beers that are on tap here that this one is that's represented here.
Good luck, guys.
Do you know how many are on tap by chance off the top of your head?
21 or 22 now because a couple of them blew.
So each chance, we have a 1 in 22 chance to guess each one.
Okay.
We'll test it. I am the reigning. What was the game that you just talked about?
Unlabeled.
I am the reigning unlabeled champ.
Okay.
And it's a blind beer tasting game, but we're never guessing like the specific beer. It's more like what's the category of beer, APV, and so forth. Okay. But I just had to throw that out there and brag a little bit. So we'll go round by round, and we will start. I say let's start right to left, right?
Sure.
Light.
That's perfectly fine. We'll guess what the beer is, and then we'll also we always rate the beers.
Yeah.
So it's up to you if you want to put your 2 cents into rating it, but we're going to rate it regardless. So.
And then you can just write it down on the paper, and you don't have to show anybody. Okay, so let me see. I'm getting some flavors here.
I'm going to get this one all wrong. A 1 in 23 chance? Dang.
All right. Mine's in the books. So do you want to go ahead and just share what we? Oh, you didn't even have a pencil.
No.
Oh no, you're not going to let us go all the way through.
All right, yeah, we'll go all the way through.
Like, what if you put IPA and Dankster in here to trick us, and we have to figure out between 2 IPAs?
Very good
I
point.
like that.
Which there is always a chance that there's going to be multiple IPAs. We played the blind beer tasting challenge with a guy named Brock, who has a barbecue company, and we didn't know any of the beers that were picked. His brother picked them all out. And they were all sours. So every time we're like smelling, we're like, oh no, another sour? Are you kidding me?
Which I'm not mad at a sour, but
I'm not either. But whenever you're trying to guess what kind of it is, and it's just a sour every time.
This one's
I'm
better.
not sure about that first one. I'm going back and forth.
I know, that's why I'm leaving a little bit of it so I can go back and get a little taste of it later. Later's just throwing them back.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I should have saved some of that first one.
So I can go back. I mean, I was just going off the expert over here.
I know. I'm like, sip, sip.
Got to taste them. I don't know what this one is.
You got to swash it, breathe through your nose. We've done research. Apparently, we just read one website that said you're supposed to breathe out through your nose.
Yeah, because it makes your like sense of taste stronger.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on number 3. Y'all are being slow.
Well, I don't know what any of these are, so I'm having to like struggle over here to try to guess.
You need to get on our level, Joe. We're
He's
guessing
like,
them
"We're
all.
already done."
Yeah, we're guessing the beers. Here you go.
Dang, I don't know the second
And
one.
don't put IPA on that one. There's an Oktoberfest, and you were guessing a blonde.
I was
He
wrong.
was guessing a blonde on an Oktoberfest.
No, I
think that's what it was.
I think it was something else. Gotta get
Yep.
those specifics in it.
I know for sure. Number
you know
3.
for sure this one? I gotta get those extra hints in
I
it.
think I'm at.
Is it?
I know exactly what that is.
I gotta. Is it
The first 2, though.
It's this one. Is it? What's the extra flavor? Is there not an extra flavor in it?
That one has a really, if you look at the list, it's got an obvious flavor in there,
Yeah, I
and
know.
it'll help you narrow it.
I got that one. And I'm surprised you don't like that one.
No, I do. I kind of think I know what it is. Let me see. Because it reminds me of that one that we just brewed.
Nah.
Oh no, maybe
No,
I'm
it's not
way
that
wrong
one.
here.
No, go to the blonde section.
Shut up. I ain't gonna listen to this dude anymore. Get out of here
Yeah.
with that bull.
Which one is this?
All right. And last.
Yeah, I don't want more of that.
What? Oh no, you don't like it?
No, I just don't. It's a
Just-
lot.
It destroying your palate?
Yes.
It really did, because now that's all I'm tasting.
I love that one. Well, I'll reveal after we talk about what beer it is.
Oh.
Okay, I feel like we're being played a joke on.
Maybe he
And
did
that he
a-
put IPA, like Evil Dankster IPA, and the other Evil Dankster IPA.
There's 2 evil danksters.
I mean,
in
it
here?
does taste similar, but by the looks of it, it's not the same.
Right.
The fourth one's not as clear.
Yeah, I think I know what this one is. Based on the way it looks. I mean, obviously the way it
Okay.
tastes too, but the way it looks, I think helps me out a little bit.
I have 2 guesses for number 1, but I'm pretty sure I know number 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I don't think I'll know any of these. I'm gonna be completely wrong on all.
I
of
might
these.
be wrong,
Let
though.
me see here.
All right.
I'm going to give it a stab. He could have given us easier beers.
Nah, it's
Matt.
cool. I like it this way.
Okay, what do y'all think number 1 was?
All right. Round 1, I have just the old-fashioned Tupps IPA.
I had either Evil Dankster or possibly Oak Shake if it wasn't a Dankster. But I
Which
might be
one?
wrong. Number
Oak Shake?
1. Yeah.
A dark aged IPA with lactose. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't getting as strong of.
What's number 1?
All right.
flavor.
So I know that number 3.
No, go ahead and.
I'm just trying to make sure
number
that
one?
we drink them in the right order. So number 3 is Hombre, which would be like the dark one, right?
Dang it.
Okay.
It was
No,
Hombre.
is it?
Yep.
Dude, the
I didn't-
Hombre I had a lot.
I put
more
Dive Bar
pungent.
Brunch.
All right, so then let's start back at the
Nah,
top. Number
no,
1 was the
Matt,
cryo
Matt.
one, so it's the Evil Dankster Cryo.
Do you know what's so sad? Yeah, okay, so I did have Dankster as number 1.
Yeah, I was way wrong.
All right, I just had the regular IPA, so. But you had Dankster, but did you have
I had
the
Dankster,
cryo?
question mark, Oak Shake, question mark. No,
All
but I knew
right.
it was an Evil Dankster.
So is the cryo? Is that the alpha drop or?
No.
It's a hop
It's
hash.
Evil Dankster with cryo hops.
Yep.
Oh, there's an evil
Or not the
Dankster
hop
with
hash.
cryo.
Yeah, the evil. Okay. Number 2
I said it's just our IPA.
was the regular IPA.
Yeah, I just said.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I said a DDH IPA, so I guess.
And
I
you
was
had
wrong.
that one?
I got IPA.
Man, this is actually harder whenever. Well, there's
I
so many
failed on
IPAs.
number 3. I totally thought that was Dive Bar Brunch because I tasted lots of coffee, but I guess that's like the burnt, like
thought
the
I-
char at the end and the chilies.
I could have swore I tasted some maple syrup, so I said the Woodsman.
So number 3 was the
It is full
Hombre.
growny.
Full-grown man-child. Full-grown Hombre is an imperial stout with What is it? Ancho
with
chilies?
the ancho chilies.
Yeah,
So
ancho chilies.
I've had this one before, and I swear the ancho chilies were a lot more prevalent.
Yeah.
Like the ancho chilies
I can see that.
made me go, well, this is completely obvious. This one, I don't taste
The bottom
the ancho
one, I'm a little bitter about because I see that it's oak shake. And you can see I started writing oak shake, but I marked it out.
I wrote down Alpha Drop on the last one.
All right, and the fourth beer,
I failed.
which was DDH Oak Shake, oak-aged IPA with lactose. That's what gave it that fogginess. I don't think this one's it, right? Yeah.
So
I
this is
failed.
considered a milkshake IPA
Yep, because it has the lactose
because of
in
the
it.
lactose.
It's
So-
always different. Once you know what it is, then you just taste it and you're like, oh, yeah, of course that's what that is.
I'm a little
All right,
disappointed in
so-
myself.
All right, so in traditional, wait, let me see the.
Oh, yeah, you got to look at the
answer.
list here. They're all really good, though.
I wasn't too far off. I got IPA. I got Dankster. And I
Out
started
of all
to get
four
oak
of them,
shake.
though,
Which one? We got to get you guys to try Alpha Drop, though.
yeah,
We
I wanna
can
try an
definitely
Alpha
do
Drop.
that, but before we go here any further, we've got to rank these beers.
The Alpha,
Oh, no.
and the Alpha Drop's the hazy one?
Yeah, it's another hazy, and that's why I said it. She kept talking about haze, and that's why I went with Alpha Drop because
So, what
I
is
don't
it
know
that
anything
makes
about
it hazy? Exactly. Is it?
It's
not
the
just
dry
the way
hopping
it
at
looks,
the
but like,
end.
what is the taste that makes it that you like?
So
about
when
it?
you double dry hop a beer, it gets literally you dry hop the IPA at the end with double the amount of hops. So like if you think
and with that, you're just adding hops into the fermentation.
post fermentation, so it's already finished just before carbonating it. So you're adding another dose of hops
So it's
after.
like a secondary. Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then the pellets break apart and like obviously make it cloudy, but like especially when you add lactose, which is like milk sugar, it's going to be cloudy
Yeah.
too. I would not. I mean, I
Nice.
guess yeah. The oak shake one was Chase's baby, which is Chris's brother. So he really likes things that are, I guess, aged on oak, and he was like, "Wouldn't it sound cool to say that you have an oak shake?" I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but I mean, it literally is an IPA that's aged on oak, and then they dry hopped it at the end. So
Now that you say that, I didn't even think about like what is an oak shake. So
it's the IPA,
yeah.
and then they put like the oak spindles in there, or oak staves, whatever they're called, into the tank and let them sit there for 2 weeks to get that oak flavor in it. And then they dry hop it like any other DDH beer and add lactose to this one specifically. I think his idea was like that's how it got its name, oak shake. So it like has that milkshake part to it, but also has the oak aging.
So
Yeah.
So I think I missed something. So did they put the oak spindles or whatever it is? Did they do that in the?
They put it in the tank.
boil?
No, after it's fermented out and it's like before it's going to be carbonated and all that.
Right. So
There's
they
all
do it
these-
in like a secondary fermentation. Okay, I got
Yep,
you. Okay.
and it
Okay,
sits
yeah.
in there, just sits in the tank for the 2 weeks with the oak spindles in there
Right.
to like get that flavor in there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing we do with Woodsman. Instead of aging it in barrels, it's aged with the oak. I don't know if they're
Okay.
called oak spindles or staves, whatever they're called.
Yeah. So these. So I do have a question. With the Woodsman is got like maple syrup in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do they do actual maple syrup?
Yeah. That's one thing I love. Chris does not put fake ingredients. He may use like a
So I faked it.
like I know for our Festival of Darkness beer that has caramel in it, there wasn't actual caramel. It was like a powdered baking caramel. So I don't
Yeah.
know if sometimes for the Woodsman, I'm not sure. I can find out.
I need
though.
to because I'm curious. I like to homebrew.
I think
I'm
it's
not
just
any good.
maple syrup, but I'm not positive. Don't quote me
Well,
on that.
the only reason why I asked is because I homebrew and I just did a maple pecan porter.
Yeah.
And I added fenugreek to it, which is to like mimic that maple flavor. So that's why I was curious to know what do you.
He's put
what
some
he really
wacky
did.
stuff in.
Like
Last
to
year
know
when
what-
we did
what the pros do.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, that literally had like 200 boxes of Cinnamon Toast Crunch in it.
Wow. Where'd y'all buy those from? From the
Sam's.
the factory?
No,
Sam's?
from
Okay.
Sam's. Chris like drove back here and his truck was like overflowing with boxes, and we spent like
Yes.
2 hours over here opening boxes and dumping it in. Open a box.
That is
open it.
hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was
That-
probably one of the dumber things I've ever had to do, but it was really fun.
So that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
was really
does.
cool. The funnier thing was that like they decided, oh yeah, let's do an 8-hour boil because they wanted it to be super thick.
Okay.
Let's just say that day turned out super long and fun. And we were like in here at 8 or 9 in the morning dumping cereal in the boil. No, it wasn't even that early. It was probably like 10 or 11. And then we had to hang out all day, and it ended up clogging up the tank and all this stuff.
Oh,
man.
And you can imagine what we were doing while we were waiting for it to boil. And anyways,
I just think it coming out.
it was a good fun day.
Thick like molasses, like real thick.
It was really good. It wasn't that thick, but
Yeah.
it did make a difference on the viscosity. It was really
Right.
fun.
I feel like if I was here, I'd be like, we got to do something with these boxes. We got to pile them high.
Oh my god!
Run into them.
We probably should have. At
Yeah.
that point, we were just like, I
Office
think,
chair.
so tired of opening boxes that we were like, oh god. Yeah, we should have. That would have been epic.
Jackass
Build like a
style
little
stuff.
igloo, cinnamon toast.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I think it's gonna be hard for me to rate all 4 of them because I drank them back to back. Why don't we pick the one that we thought was our favorite?
Okay.
You know what I mean? I feel like I really liked the 4th one, the oak shake
Oak
one.
shake.
The oak shake.
Yeah, I like the
oak shake.
Hombre too, but I'm just like, if I'm drinking Hombre versus 3 IPAs, I have
Right.
to like pick one of the IPAs.
Oak
It's
shake's
like,
really smooth,
yeah, it was really smooth.
in texture, and it doesn't have that alcohol astringency to it.
Right. No, I
What's
agree.
the APV on that one?
Oak shake, I
7%.
believe. Yeah, I was gonna say it's around 7.
Wow, it didn't taste like that at all.
All of
I
our
wouldn't have guessed
DDHs
that.
hit around 7.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
That was smooth.
So if we were to rank the oak shake, they do a scale of 1 to 5. What do you?
I would-
on this one?
Untapped.
Yeah, Untapped. I would give it a 4 for sure.
A 4. Yeah, I was thinking like a 4.25. Yeah.
What score does it have?
A 3.93.
Hey, it's close.
Hey, and I'm tough
I'm like,
on I'm tough on IPAs because I feel like everybody drinks IPAs
Oh, yeah.
constantly. And it's like I feel like when I first got into craft beer, I drank a lot of IPAs, and now I'm like, man, I just want to try other stuff besides IPAs. But this
For
is
me,
a good one.
with trying different beers, I would always pick a hazy over a regular IPA. But
Yeah.
I do like a real good, like, bitter West Coast IPA every now and then. But, like, on Untappd, it's funny because to me, I don't rate beers if I don't like them because I feel like that's tacky.
I know,
So
I feel
just
bad,
leave them
too.
at no.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this until like 6 months ago. You can not rate them. You can just leave it where it is, and it doesn't give the brewery a 0. It just doesn't give them a rating. It just checks it in for you.
Yeah.
So I've started doing that. I'm like, if it doesn't have a rating, that means it's gross and I didn't like it. So you can kind of tell if you scroll through my Untappd, like the beers that I don't like.
Yeah, we gotta be true to Dudes and Brews fashion and rate them all, even if they're not even good.
Oh, damn. No, see, I
We
just can't
tried-
do it.
We
We're just-
rated.
we're
I'm like, 'cause I
assholes,
can't
it's
stand it
fine.
when someone goes and they're like, 1 star. I didn't
No.
like this beer because I hate IPAs. I'm like, then why are you drinking?
Why'd you
I
drink
haven't-
an IPA?
I haven't get
You
any
always
beer.
see some of the
one.
funniest reviews on there.
There was no reason for you to drink an IPA in that case. Yeah.
No. I'm just like, whatever.
No, it's funny because I follow a guy on Instagram that's Untappd WTF, and
Oh, yeah.
he'll post some ridiculous reviews,
Yeah.
and I'm like, really, guys?
Sometimes that don't even have anything to do with the beer.
Right.
But for me, to like, when I taste beers, the reason why I don't ever give people a negative review is because, like, it's the same thing to me as, like, going to a restaurant. Like, some people love Chipotle and some people think it's freaking gross. Does that
Right.
mean that Chipotle is gross? No, it just means that it's not their
Yeah.
burrito. You know what I mean? Like, we all like different flavors and different things. So
Exactly.
sometimes I'll think a beer is freaking disgusting and other people like it, and that's okay. Whatever.
I've just gotten to a point where if it's a craft beer, then I'm probably gonna like it.
Right. Well,
and then I'm rating it on a scale of like versus the ones I really like.
Yeah.
We rated one from this really small brewery that just started in Denison. They don't even have a what is it?
They
They're
don't
putting
even
out a
can.
front.
Like, they don't even have a tap room. They just
Yeah.
they only
Some
keg
people
right
do
now.
mobile canning lines and stuff and bring
Yeah.
one in. We
so
did that for a while.
we drank it and I felt like we were really harsh on it, but it wasn't that the beer was bad. It just had a different kind of flavor. And then a guy that I met, I told him about the podcast. He listened to it, and I talked to him again. And he's like, "Yeah, I watched the episode, and it was a really good friend of mine's son who opened that brewery." And I started thinking back. I'm
Were
like,
you talking shit, huh?
I wasn't talking shit.
No.
I never would talk shit, but I don't. I'm like, I don't know if I gave it the most favorable rating.
Oh, man.
And
But
I,
we
I
were
was
being
talking,
honest.
I
Yeah.
was talking about how there was something weird going on.
Well, there's been a couple IPAs that I've tried that has some kind of hop. I don't know, and that's what we were talking about, like knowing your hops. But there's
Yeah.
some hop out there. Recently, like in the last 6 months, I've like drain poured 2 IPAs because they have had that whatever it is in there, and I literally gag when I smell it and
Oh,
taste
no.
it. Like, I can't
What?
do this. And I don't know what hop it is, but thank God it's only happened twice.
So, was that your favorite IPA out of the 3?
I'm gonna go with recency bias, so sure. I mean, I enjoyed it.
That might have been
liked
it too. Is recency bias.
I really liked it. I liked the addition of lactose because they gave it a really good mouthfeel. So I mean that was a really big proponent for me. So yeah.
Okay.
I would agree.
So then, what would you rate it?
So me,
You're not gonna offend
I
me.
gave it a 4.25.
Oh, okay.
Hey, he
And-
doesn't really like it, but he gave it over
I gave it a
4.
4.
I'll take it.
No,
I gave it a 4. I
didn't
liked
say
it.
I didn't like it.
I liked it. I would actually drink another one.
When did I say I didn't like it?
I'm
I
just
said it was
messing
good.
with you.
Come on now.
I said you're not gonna offend me.
Busting my chops here.
I think
So-
my favorite probably was Oak Shake out of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
we're gonna go ahead and give it a 4.25 out of a total here.
He says, I heard your rating, but we're gonna go ahead and give it a 4.25.
Yeah.
So-
Well, we might as well give it the higher rating.
Let's give it.
We can't meet in the middle just because of their algorithm. here.
We have to lean towards, first of all, for the hospitality. Thank you so much for having
You're
us.
welcome.
It's been fun. I really appreciate everything. It's really fun. A really good beer.
No, we have had a blast. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on the show, letting us kind of check out the place a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love the vibe. The vibe's always great.
Yep.
It definitely helps that the beer's awesome as well. So I guess it's his name's Chris.
Yep.
Tell him to keep doing what he's doing because he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
He is. That's one thing I will tell Chris. We make jokes with him. I tell him I'll send him TMZ gifts because he's just, so cool because he makes the coolest beer.
Right. No, he does a great job. So make sure to follow Tupps online. Its Instagram is Tupps_.
Don't follow the
Brewery.
fake account.
Hey,
Don't get sucked
we
in.
tried to report them.
Yeah,
Literally.
yeah.
We tried to. Yeah, we couldn't.
Oh, I appreciate you. You don't understand. It's been up for like 3 years, but
Yeah,
whatever.
we saw.
Use your brain. Look which one looks more active and has more followers
Yeah.
and more current stuff on it.
Which one? they post the generic catalog everybody.
Yeah.
Isn't that
cheers
funny?
beer.
Did you
They
look
have-
at it?
yeah.
It's like not even tough stuff. I don't
No.
know. It's been on there seriously, I think, for like 4 years.
So-
I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, so
Tupps
don't follow
_
them.
brewery.
Follow Tupps, the real Tupps, the underscore.
I guess it's just flattering, that we have a fake Instagram.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
But make sure to follow us as well. You can follow us on Instagram and Untappd at _dudes and brews. But we're out of here.
All right, peace.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome, guys.
Fun.
We appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Dudes and Brews. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you're on. We're on there. We have a YouTube channel, Dudes and Brews. We would love if you would subscribe there as well. If you are subscribed and you want to help us out just a little more, unsubscribe and resubscribe again. It sounds funny and stupid and kind of obnoxious, all of the subscribing and resubscribing and stuff, but it helps in these little algorithms games for climbing the charts, because again, we are organic and we are where we are because of you guys.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. Shout us out. We really do love it when you guys interact with us, when you add us, mention us, put us on your stories, tag us, all that fun stuff, all the stuff the kids are doing. We like grabbing that stuff and we put it up for you guys. So we appreciate you so much. Keep having fun, drinking them brews, hanging with them dudes. Tune in next week for another episode of Dudes and Brews.